Have you ever wondered why you wake up suddenly between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., wide-eyed and restless, when the world is at its quietest? What if that interruption isn't a coincidence, but a sacred summons? What if your soul is trying to reach you, beckoning you in the one moment the world falls silent enough to listen? And what if these early hours hold the key to unlocking clarity, purpose, and transformation, just waiting for you to embrace them? Have you ever woken up in the dead of night between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. with no alarm, no reason? Just awake, some say it's restlessness, others blame stress. But what if I told you it's something far greater? This hour, this sacred window, is not random. It is a calling, a divine whisper in the silence of the night, a moment where heaven and earth feel just a little closer. And in this moment, you are given a choice: go back to sleep or wake up to something greater. So if you find yourself awake at this hour, don't waste it. Do these three things. Number one, the spiritual awakening hour. Have you ever woken up in the dead of night between the hours of 3 a.m. and 50,000 a.m. with no reason? At all, your eyes open, the world around you is still, and an unexplainable awareness settles in your spirit. No alarm clock jolted you from your sleep. No sudden noise disturbed your rest. And yet there you are, lying awake in the darkness, feeling something deep, something stirring. Some dismiss it as a fluke, a restless night, a troubled mind. Others blame stress, anxiety, or an overactive brain processing the events of the day. But what if it is more than that? What if waking up at this hour is not an accident, but an invitation? What if in the stillness of the night you are being called? There is something sacred about these hours. In the daytime, life moves fast, distractions are everywhere, the noise of the world is relentless. But in the silence of the early morning, before the sun rises and the demands of the day begin, there exists a moment where heaven and earth seem closer, where time itself feels different, where the soul can finally hear what is so often drowned out for centuries. People have recognized this hour as significant. In Scripture, we find that it was during the night watches that men and women of faith cried out in prayer, seeking guidance, seeking answers, seeking strength. It was in the solitude of these moments that prophets received visions, that revelations were given, that hearts were stirred toward a greater purpose. Even now, across different cultures and traditions, this window of time is regarded as a spiritual awakening hour, a time when the supernatural is more active, when the mind is more open, when the soul is more receptive to the divine whispers. Why is it that so many awaken during this time? Could it be that something within is longing to be heard? The mind, free from the noise of the day, finally has space to reflect. The burdens carried in the daylight hours become clearer in the night. Fears, doubts, questions, everything that has been suppressed begins to surface. And in that moment in the darkness, we have a choice. Most people, when they wake up at this hour, do one of two things. They either fight to go back to sleep, or they reach for their phone, scrolling mindlessly to fill the silence. But what if instead of trying to escape this moment, you embraced it? What if this awakening is not a disturbance, but a gift? There is something about this hour that demands attention. This is the time when thoughts are the clearest, when the spirit is most sensitive. It is in these moments that people suddenly remember things long forgotten, dreams once abandoned, passions left unexplored, mistakes that need to be made right. It is during this hour that inspiration strikes, that creative ideas emerge, that answers come out of nowhere. The mind, unhindered by the busyness of the world, begins to process what truly matters. But beyond thoughts, beyond reflection, there is something even deeper happening. The heart speaks in ways it does not during the day. There is an undeniable pull towards something greater, a sense that there is more to life than what has been seen and known. And it is in these moments that people find themselves faced with their truest selves, no distractions, no pretenses, just the raw, honest reality of their spirit. Some wake up at this hour with a sense of urgency. They feel a weight of prompting they cannot explain. It may be a person who suddenly comes to mind, someone they haven't thought of in years, but now feel compelled to reach out to. It may be a decision they have been avoiding, one they know they must finally face. It may be an overwhelming sense of gratitude, a deep appreciation for life, for another chance, for the simple fact that they are still here. Others wake up with fear. They are confronted by their anxieties, their regrets, the burdens they carry. The worries of tomorrow seem heavier in the quiet of the night. The failures of yesterday feel more real. The uncertainties of the future become unavoidable. And yet in this moment there is an opportunity to lay it all down, to surrender the weight, to trade fear for faith, doubt for hope, turmoil for peace. This hour is not just about being awake physically, it is about being awake spiritually. It is a reminder that life is more than routine, more than schedules, more than the endless chase for success. It is a reminder that there is something deeper at work, something unseen, yet undeniable. Some call it intuition, others call it divine guidance. But whatever name it is given, the truth remains the same. This is not a meaningless moment across history. Some of the greatest revelations, the most powerful insights, the most transformative moments have come in the stillness of the early morning hours. It is in this space that men and women have found direction when they were lost. It is in this space that battles have been fought, not with weapons, but with prayer, with surrender, with an unshakable resolve to rise and walk a new path. It is in this space that lives have been changed. And so, when you wake up in the early hours of the morning, do not dismiss it, do not ignore the call. Be still, listen, search your heart. You may just find that this moment, this hour is not a coincidence. It is an awakening. Number 2, aligning with purpose. Purpose is not something we stumble upon by accident-itis, not something handed to us wrapped in a neat little box waiting for us to open it. Purpose is something we grow into, something we discover through trial, through struggle, through moments of clarity and seasons of doubt. Yet deep inside, every single person carries a seed of purpose, a calling, a reason for being, a path meant to be walked. Some recognize it early in life, while others spend years, even decades, searching. Some embrace it without hesitation, while others resist, afraid of what it might demand. But one truth remains: there is no fulfillment, no real peace, until we align ourselves with the purpose for which we were created. We live in a world that is constantly pulling us in different directions, expectations, obligations, distractions, each one a force trying to shape our decisions, trying to dictate the course of our lives. From a young age, we are told what success looks like, what paths we should follow, what dreams are acceptable to chase. And so many people walk through life not in alignment with their true purpose, but in alignment with the expectations of others. They take jobs they don't love, live lives that don't fulfill them, pursue things that leave them empty. They climb ladders only to find that they were leaning against the wrong walls. Yet even in the midst of all this noise, there is a quiet voice that never fully goes away, a voice that whispers in moments of solitude, a voice that speaks through restlessness, through dissatisfaction, through that unshakable feeling that there is something more. And it is in these moments, when we wake up in the early hours of the morning, when we feel that tug on our hearts, when we recognize that something within us is out of alignment, that we are given a choice: ignore it and continue on the path of least resistance, or pause, listen, and begin to seek the path we were meant to walk. Aligning with purpose is not about following a perfect pre-written script. It is about coming into agreement with the deepest truths of who It is about shedding the false identities we have worn, the masks we have put on to please others, the roles we have played that do not reflect the calling within us. It is about asking the hard questions: why am I here? What was I created to do? What stirs my soul? In a way, nothing else does. Most people do not ask these questions because they are afraid of the answers. They are afraid of what purpose might require of them, because purpose always comes with a cost. It demands growth, it demands change, it demands courage. The moment we begin to step into our purpose, we will face resist existence, doubts from within, opposition from without. People may not understand, some may even try to discourage us. But purpose is not about pleasing people, it is about fulfilling a calling. Some have known their purpose for years, but have buried it beneath fear, beneath excuses, beneath the belief that they are not qualified, not good enough, not ready. But here is the truth: purpose is not about being ready. It is about being willing. It is about taking one step, then another, even when the path is uncertain. It is about trusting that what has been placed inside of us is there for a reason, that the gifts we have been given are meant to be used, that the dreams we carry were planted in us for a divine reason. Purpose is not always about grand gestures or world-changing missions. Sometimes purpose is found in the small things, in the quiet moments, in the ways we show up for others, and the love we give, and the lives we touch. Purpose is about alignment, not just with what we do, but with who we are, with how we live, with what we stand for. It is about being in harmony with the deeper calling placed within us. When we align with our purpose, life takes on new meaning. The struggles we face no longer seem meaningless. The pain we have endured begins to make sense. The obstacles we have overcome reveal their lessons, because purpose does not erase hardship, but it gives it meaning. It transforms trials into testimonies, setbacks into stepping stones, failures into lessons that shape us into who we were always meant to be. To align with purpose, we must be willing to let go of everything that is not in alignment. We must let go of the fear that holds us back, let go of the voices that tell us we cannot, let go of the need for approval, for validation, for certainty. Because purpose does not come with a roadmap, it comes with faith. It comes with a willingness to trust that if we take one step in the right direction, the next step will reveal itself. Purpose is not just about what we do, it is about who we become. It is about waking up each day with a sense of direction, with a fire inside that cannot be extinguished. It is about walking in confidence, knowing that we are not here by accident, that our existence is intentional, that our lives matter. And Sohin, that voice calls when the stirring in your soul refuses to be ignored. Listen, because purpose is waiting, alignment is possible, and the life you are meant to live is closer than you think. Number 3, action steps for transformation. Transformation is a word that carries great weight. It's a word that signifies change on a deep personal level, a metamorphosis that goes beyond surface level improvements, reaching the very core of who we are. It's about growth, rebirth, and becoming the person we were always meant to be. Transformation is not a destination, it is a journey. And it is not something that happens by accident. It requires deliberate action, a series of steps that move us from where we are to where we are meant to be. The truth is, change is never easy. It demands sacrifice, it demands discipline, it demands the courage to step away from what is comfortable and familiar in order to embrace something unknown. But despite the challenges, transformation is possible for anyone willing to take the first step. The key is an understanding that action is required. We can think about change, we can dream about it, we can wish for it, but nothing will ever change unless we take action. The first action step in transformation is perhaps the most fundamental. The decision to change doesn't happen on its own. It begins when you decide that where you are is no longer where you want to be. It begins when you look at your life and recognize that something has to give. Maybe it's your mindset, maybe it's your habits, maybe it's your relationships, your career, or your physical health. Whatever it is, transformation starts with the simple yet powerful act of deciding. For many people, the decision to change comes after a wake-up call. It may be a painful experience, a moment of failure, or an event that shakes them to their core. For others, the decision comes gradually as they become increasingly dissatisfied with their current circumstances. Either way, the decision to change is the starting point. It's the moment you acknowledge that you deserve more, that you are capable of more, and that it's time to step into your potential. But once the decision is made, the next step is often the hardest, taking responsibility for your life. We live in a world that often looks for someone or something to blame. When things go wrong, it's easy to point fingers at others, at circumstances, at the past. But the truth is that we are the architects of our own destiny. No one else has the power to shape our future unless we give it to them. Transformation requires that we take full responsibility for where we are in life, acknowledging that our choices, our actions, and our mindset have brought us here. Taking responsibility is empowering. It means that no matter how difficult the circumstances, no matter how impossible the situation may seem, you have the power to change it. The moment you stop blaming and start owning your life, you unlock the potential for growth. You become the creator of your own story. You realize that your future is in your hands, and it's up to you to write the next chapter. 10. Transformation requires clarity of vision. Without a clear vision of where you want to go, it's easy to get lost along the way. We've all heard the saying, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. Transformation needs direction. It needs focus. You must have a vision of who you want to become and what you want to achieve. This vision acts as a compass, guiding you through the trials and challenges that will inevitably come. A vision is more than just a goal. It's a picture of your future self, the person you aspire to become. It's the person who has conquered their fears, who has overcome obstacles, and who has achieved what once seemed impossible. It's the person who lives in alignment with their purpose, who walks with confidence, who inspires others by the example they set. Having a clear vision of who you want to be will not only motivate you, but will give you the strength to push through moments of doubt. Once your vision is in place, you need to create a plan of action. Transformation doesn't happen in a day, and it certainly doesn't happen by wishful thinking. It requires a detailed step-by-step plan that takes you from where you are to where you want to be. A plan provides structure and accountability. It breaks down the big goal into smaller, manageable steps, making the process of transformation feel less overwhelming and more achievable. A good plan should take into consideration every aspect of your life that needs to change. If you want to transform your health, your plan should include changes to your diet, exercise routine, and mindset. If you want to transform your health, your plan should include changes to your diet, exercise routine, and mindset. If you want to transform your career, your plan should include steps to improve your skills, expand your network, and gain the experience necessary for the job you want. Whatever your vision, your plan should be designed to move you steadily toward your goal, one step at a time. As you begin to implement your plan, consistency becomes the next critical step. Transformation is not a sprint, it is a marathon. The journey requires consistent effort day after day, even when it feels like nothing is changing. It's easy to get discouraged when progress seems slow, but remember, change takes time. Real transformation is a process, and it requires you to show up every day, even when it's difficult. Consistency is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about making steady progress. It's about taking small steps every day, even if they seem insignificant at the time. Over time, those small Steps will add up. One small habit done consistently leads to massive transformation. Along the way, you will face resistance. This is a natural part of the transformation process. Resistance comes in many forms: fear, doubt, laziness, and old habits. The old version of yourself will fight to stay in control. You will feel the temptation to quit, to give up, to go back to what's comfortable. But it is in these moments that transformation truly happens. It's in pushing through the resistance that you build strength, resilience, and character. When resistance arises, it's important to remember why you started. When you can tap into the deeper purpose behind your transformation, you can summon the strength to keep going. The truth is, nothing worth having comes easily. Transformation is hard, but it is also the most rewarding journey you will ever take. Alongside consistency and resistance, another crucial step in transformation is self-reflection. As you move through the process, take time to reflect on your progress. Check in with yourself regularly. Ask yourself, am I getting closer to my vision? What's working and what's not? Are there any areas where I need to adjust my plan? Self-reflection allows you to recalibrate, to course correct, and to stay on track. It helps you see the progress you've made, which can be incredibly motivating when things feel tough. Another key step in transformation is embracing discomfort. The truth is, real growth happens outside of our comfort zones. The person you are today was shaped by your comfort zones, the familiar routines, the habits, the beliefs you hold on to. But the person you need to become requires you to step into the unknown. It requires you to do things that scare you, things that push you beyond your limits. Embracing discomfort means you are willing to face your fears, to try new things, and to keep going even when it's hard. This is where transformation truly takes place, in the moments when you step outside of what's easy, in the moments when you push through your self-imposed limits and discover just how much you are capable of. Finally, patience is required for transformation. Too often people give up because they expect results to come too quickly. They want change to happen overnight. But transformation is a process that takes time. It's easy to get frustrated when the progress isn't as fast as you'd like. But remember, lasting change takes time to solidify. Trust the process. Keep taking action, even if the results don't show immediately. The small steps you take today will lead to big results tomorrow. Transformation is a process, a powerful journey of self-discovery, growth, and change. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Every step you take, every challenge you face brings you closer to the person you were always meant to become. And with each step, you will realize that the transformation wasn't just about changing what you do, it was about changing who you are. Transformation is not a one-time event, it is a lifelong journey built on the consistent and intentional actions we take each day. From the moment we decide that we want to change to the point where we embrace full responsibility for our lives, every step is vital in shaping who we are becoming. Clarity of vision and a well-thought-out plan are the foundation upon which true transformation rests. But without action, even the best plans remain just that, plans. It is through the daily commitment to those actions that we experience true growth. Each of us has the potential to create lasting change in our lives, but it requires more than just wishing or hoping for something better. It requires courage to step into discomfort, discipline to stay the course, and the resilience to rise again when we fall. The power of transformation lies in our hand. By making the decision to change, taking responsibility for our circumstances, clarifying our purpose, and moving forward with a concrete plan, we pave the way for the transformation we seek. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Every small action we take in the direction of our vision brings us closer to the person we were always meant to be. And with every step, we inch closer to a life of fulfillment, meaning, and purpose.